and welcome to the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board. My name is Roberta Mayer, and I am chair of the board. And all of the board members who are present will introduce themselves. And I am going to be turning the meeting over to Acting Chair Elizabeth Riley, who will manage the meeting since I am not there in person. So Elizabeth, would you ask that all the board members introduce themselves?
Yes, thank you, Chair Mayor. Herb, from your side on down, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Herb Schreiner, Subdistrict 6, which is from the Lunalilo Skate Park to the mountain. Thank you all for coming.
Hi, everyone. Tiffany Donnelly, at large.
Robbie Allen, District 2, Spinnaker, and Quap Isle.
Elizabeth Riley at large.
Sam Wolf, Subdistrict 4, the Hahaione Condo Towers.
Johanna Ward, District 3, Hahaione Valley.
Lisa Bishop at large.
Do we have any board members online? Thank you. We're going to go ahead and get started with status reports. And it doesn't look like we have the Honolulu Fire Department here. They're pretty much, excuse me? Oh, aloha, welcome. Just perfect timing. Come on down. Honolulu Fire Department, thank you for coming.
Brandon Felix from Hawai'i Fire Station. I guess last month someone asked about plans to rebuild Wailupe Fire Station. There are currently no plans on the board for that at the moment. I'm going to cover the incident statistics for August. So we responded to 1 structure fire, 1 wildland fire, and 3 activated alarms. There were 97 medical calls, 6 motor vehicle collisions, 4 mountain rescues, 3 ocean rescues, and a hazardous material incident. This month's fire safety tip is coinciding with Fire Prevention Week, which is coming up, and it's charge into fire safety, lithium-ion batteries in your home. So this year, the NFPA Fire Prevention Week campaign works to educate everyone about using these batteries safely. Lithium-ion batteries store a lot of energy in a small place. These batteries can overheat, start a fire, or explode if overcharged or damaged. By learning how to buy, charge, and recycle these batteries safely, you can help prevent a fire in your home. Buy only listed products. When buying a product that uses a lithium-ion battery, look for safety certification marks such as UL, ETL, or CSA. This means it meets important safety standards. Charge your devices safely. Always use the cords that come with the product to charge. Follow the instructions from the manufacturer. Buy new chargers from the manufacturer or one that the manufacturer has approved. Charge your device on a hard surface. Don't overcharge your device. Unplug it or remove the battery when it's fully charged. Additionally, recycle these devices responsibly. Don't throw them into the trash or regular recycling bins because they can start a fire. Recycle your device or battery at a safe battery recycling location. And visit calltorecycle.org to find a spot near you. And our last thing to mention here is the HFD is hosting a Fire Prevention Family Day event on October 4th at the Honolulu Zoo from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So bring your family to participate in activities, meet our fire and life safety partners.
Thank you, board members and members of the audience and online. Does anyone have a question for Honolulu Fire Department? There being none, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Aloha. Honolulu Police Department, we're going to move on to Board of Water Supply. Oh, excuse me a moment. So sorry. You're online. My apologies.
Oh, no problem.
Honolulu Police Department.
Hi, aloha. Lieutenant Taro Nakamura with the police department.
These are stats for August, as compared to the previous month. Motor vehicle thefts were 4 as compared to 3. Burglaries was 1 compared to 2. Thefts in general were 9 compared to 7. And UEMVs, which is theft from autos, that was 4 as compared to 9. This is out of a total calls of service of 5,882. And further statistical information can be found at honolulupd.org. And our safety tip for the month is just a reminder. You folks may not have seen it, but the last couple weeks, especially where was it? I think it was Taiwan and Hong Kong area. They got hit by a couple major natural disaster events. And so I just highlighted flash flood preparedness because whatever triggers the flash flood, whether it's heavy rains or even a typhoon coming in, it can be extremely dangerous. And even in our history, we've had some unfortunate incidents like I think it was New Valley, Manoa Valley. These flash floods can come fast and hard and unexpected. So please watch out for them. And then whatever you do, please keep a half an ear out for all those emergency warnings and watches, and that can help you prepare in advance for those kind of natural disasters. That's our safety tip for the month.
Thank you very much, board members, members of the audience and online. If you have questions, please raise your hand. Yes, Herb?
Hello, LT. Can you give us a little spill? I know it was on the news. I was being sought after to give comment, couldn't do it, on the cameras. I actually had it on my agenda to ask about them because they've been out a while. How are they doing?
What kind of cameras are you talking about, Herb?
Oh, the ones that are at the lookouts. It was in the news. Your ex-major AC was talking about it, and Channel 2 was trying to get a hold of me and Sam. So I just was wondering, how do you guys feel about those cameras and how they're working?
I haven't heard anything in particular about the cameras, but cameras being what they are, any ounce of prevention is, to me, is good. So if it's something that we can utilize new technology for, and it can help prevent crime from occurring, that's a good thing. That being said, I think a whole bunch of common sense needs to be remembered in these instances when we have areas of high theft. Just please watch out. Don't leave stuff valuables in your car. Don't make it easy for the crooks to get at them. And that in and of itself can prevent a lot of crime from occurring also. But to answer your question, I haven't heard anything specifically about either positive or negative about the cameras.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Aloha, Lieutenant. Thank you for the report and long time no see. I'd like to get some clarity on the laws or ordinances as it relates to parking on city streets, public streets, because in particular with Hawai'i Drive, there are large boats. I mean, just this past month, there was an extremely large boat parked on the side of the road with their trailer. There was a container, a Pasha container that was left there for an extended period of time. There are dumpsters, there are large buses, other types of random commercial vehicles, and it seems like just pure lawlessness. So I guess I'm looking for specifics on the width of a vehicle that's allowed to park on the street, because I see some of the dumpsters as well. They have there's cones with reflectors on it to sort of indicate, hey, there's a dumpster here, or we're kind of protruding out further than cars. So as a warning, but then other large vehicles or containers don't have those blinkers. So what is HPD looking for when they're going to cite a vehicle for being too large or encroaching into the city street? Because I think it's extremely dangerous and it continues to be an ongoing problem.
Well, first and foremost, if there's a problem, the easiest way to do it is just to call 911 and have an officer go to that scene, because it really depends. It depends on each specific situation. A car is different from a truck, is different from a commercial van, especially if they're large vans or large trucks. And then, of course, something that's immovable, like those storage containers or those storage dump. I don't even know what they call them, dump containers where you throw the trash in and they come in and haul it away. Those things, each has a little bit different RO, usually revised ordinance kind of violation. So the easiest way would be just to call 911 and have an officer go down, assess the situation, and they can explain the violation that's occurring at that time.
Just to follow up on that, I mean, I know that this is Hawai'i Kai Drive. This is one of the most busiest streets in this community. I know that there's a number of police officers that are at the James Building that pass these vehicles every day. So for the onus to be on us to call when the police officers are driving by, I think is not really appropriate. I think that the police officers should see a safety issue and being familiar with the ordinances, being able to address it at that point in time. I guess I'm just curious on what is the maximum number of the maximum width that some I don't know, item object can take up in our city streets. Like, you know, can I park my car 4 feet away from the curb and that be okay as long until somebody calls and complains? Or I would like a little bit more clarity around this, if you could.
Okay. It depends on the situation, like the width of the road. There's generic laws if you want one. I mean, just basically, if you're 12 feet more than the side of the curb and you're away from it, it doesn't really matter how much width the car has. But if it's more than 12 feet away from the curb and it's impeding traffic, and especially if it's impeding emergency vehicles from gaining access through that roadway, then that would be a serious violation. Is that the type of thing that you're asking about?
If you could, yes, please come up to the podium though. Thank you. We have somebody else coming up here to the podium.
Okay.
If you start with just sharing your name, please. Thank you.
I'm Judith Gooch. I live over here in Honolulu and I've been in Hawaii for about 10 years. I'm concerned about what you're talking about because I almost ran over a boat trailer and it's never been removed. I did call about it and it's still there. And I thought, oh, wow, it came up on me sooner than, and it's right before the light on the, I never can pronounce the name, the highway. Hawaiian names are still difficult for me because I have Southern draw. But it's there all the time. And I did call about it. And I almost hit it. And it's there. It's still there. I mean, it's still there. And I'm wondering, you know, just as a solution along the Hawai'i Kai Drive, because I think there's a problem. What is the solution? Is there's signs that say you can't park boats here. You know, a simple sign, no boat. It's not a boat, it's a trailer.
Containers.
And it evidently belongs to someone in the apartment complex in that area. But it scared me. I almost hit it. And I have small grandchildren, you know, which is difficult when they're with me. But I think it protrudes too much out. And it is on Hawai'i Kai Drive. And we know that that's where we get out. Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. It brings my attention to it, just to reinforce what he's talking about, because I
Thank-
did call.
Thank you.
Yeah, so like
ahead,
I
please.
said, each specific situation is different. I do remember there were several complaints about a boat trailer. And you have to remember now, we can cite the vehicle. Or we can cite the trailer and the boat, but it's not the police responsibility to tow it. It's just because the way the law is written, I'm not trying to lane or assign blame or whatever on anybody, but that's just a really weird quirk in the law. I mean, I wish we could just tow for everything, but we can't. So I do remember that instance where, so it just goes back to what I was trying to say is if you do see a violation, just call us and we can go and address that specific violation. That might be the easiest way to do it.
Thank you very much. What I'm going to be doing, board members and members of the community, is asking Chair Mayor to consider putting this on the agenda. We've had conversations before about Hawai'i Kai Drive and safety, and maybe we need to ramp it up and take a look at it a little bit differently this time. I'm fully aware of what has been brought up here, and I've seen it for myself just as well. So because it's a main artery that serves the community, I think it warrants a conversation and then maybe some different type of action. So I'll speak with Chair Mayor about that, and we can have more discussion at future meetings on that. Thank you. Let's see. Chair Mayor is actually with us, and please go ahead. Chair Mayor, did you want to share a thought?
Yes, thank you. Later in the agenda, we have the approval of the letter that we're going to be sending to the City Council about oversized vehicles parked on residential streets. And perhaps we need to just add boats and boat trailers to that letter. So when it comes up on the agenda, think about that. Okay?
Thank you very much. Good point, indeed. Okay, board member, yes, Herb has an additional comment or question.
ALT, what can we do to help you tow your things away?
The police department, we cite, we don't tow. That's the difficulty. I mean, in a perfect world, if we had but we're talking about structural changes in probably the city charter, which is way beyond my pay grade. I mean, if we could tow and for the police department in of itself could tow for that, that might be a different issue, but that would take, I mean, a lot of change in the way that the department is set up and even the city is set up. You got to remember, we have difficulties just towing regular vehicles as a police department and the contracts that are involved with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of with you folks on that one. Maybe it does take a letter from the neighborhood board to the city to address. Let's try to look at new and different ways to change, probably maybe change the way we're doing business now, so we can get these violations and take care of them and get them off the road, not just cited. Because look at AVs, like AVs, for example, we could cite the car 20 times, and the poor homeowner, they could call 10 times, right? And we're going to cite the vehicle. But how long does it take for the car to actually get towed, which is the end result that you folks want, right? And that's the end result that the police department wants, obviously, because we don't want to get called 20 times for the same vehicle, right? But I fear I'm stepping a little bit out of my pay grade, and I'll probably get into trouble for saying stuff like this. So I'm going to stop there.
Thank you, though. We do appreciate your comments and input. Thank you very much. No more questions. We're going to move on then. Did you have a question? Yes, please come to the podium.
Hi, my name is Rosemary Nishi. I've been in Hawai'i for about 52 years. My question is HPD still active with the neighborhood watch? Is that
Yes,
no
yes.
longer?
Yes. We have a community policing team that oversees and works with the neighborhood watches.
Do you have monthly meetings?
I personally am not aware of it, but I can give you the phone number to the neighborhood board. I mean, the neighborhood community policing team, and you could ask them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my other question is, there are homeless people at the boat ramp. They actually live in their cars. So there's about 3 of them there, and they don't move. So you can pretty much tell that they're living out of their car. So is HPD going to do something or get them help?
You're talking about the boat ramp at Honolulu Bay?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we address violations in Mauna Loa Bay all the time. We make citations, make arrests, depending on what type of crime has occurred at that time. No, if they come back, they come back. So yeah, it is a situation where we have to keep on top of it, but just because we make one arrest or we make one citation doesn't mean that that person cannot come back tomorrow, and we have to address the situation again tomorrow. And yeah, that's a difficult one where we're addressing homeless people for those kind of violations all across the island. I mean, it's a difficult situation. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We have one more from Joanna.
Yeah, speaking of homelessness, I started taking advantage of our beautiful park and ride. I take it every day. Take the 6:12 a.m. bus, the express, downtown. On July 1st, when I first started working, taking the bus, there was not a single homeless person at the park and ride. Now there are about 5. I have like about 5 of them at 6:12. They're there. 2 of them are sleeping regularly, at least 2, and 3 of them are just hanging out. I understand, you can keep making citations, tickets, whatnot, but if you can do it at least once, I think that would help. I have a lot of my neighbors also take the early buses with me, and we're all women, and I could tell we're all very uncomfortable. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. Andy, any comment before we move on? Nope. Oh, excuse me, one
You
more.
want a
Oh,
comment from me?
I was just going to ask. It's okay. We've got another board member who has something to share. Lisa?
Sure.
Well, these 2 may be good examples of where we could call Mike Buck.
Yeah, I think
Who's
Mike
here?
is online.
Oh, Mike, are you online?
If I can answer that I think it was a question, but if there's people that are committing some kind of a crime while you're waiting for the bus, you don't feel afraid to call us. We'll call us and we'll address the situation. But at that time, but we need to. It would be very helpful if we had a call that something is occurring at that time. The danger is saying that just because they're homeless, that in and of itself is a crime. That's the hard part. And we can't, as a police department, we can't say that, and we won't say that. And we have to address specific situations for specific violations of the law as they occur. That doesn't mean I don't have any empathy for you waiting at the bus stop at 6 a.m. and you have people who make you uncomfortable. my suggestion would be to just call at that time. And we'll, at least we'll go there. We can talk to them. If there's a violation, we'll address it at the time. If not, we'll still be there and they'll know that you folks are going to call if anything is, you know, is they'll know that you folks are going to call, and that in and of itself may be a deterrent also. Yeah.
Thank you, Lieutenant. I appreciate it very much. So again, Joanna, don't hesitate to call. Thank you. And then Mike is online, so perhaps later if he wants to share anything, we can speak about this. We're going to move on, please, to Board of Water Supply. Thank you for coming.
Okay. Aloha.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Aloha.
Hello, everyone. So I report on main breaks. There was nothing in August for this neighborhood board. And I just have one general announcement. So we need your kukua now. So please reduce water usage by 20%. It's lower than normal rainfall, and high water demand can impact our water supply. So while we're good for now, here's some simple tips that can help ensure that we have fresh water, drinking water now and into the future. You can turn off your tap while brushing your teeth, washing your hands, or when you're shaving. You can shorten the shower by a few minutes. Use a garden hose when you, garden nozzle when you use the hose, and irrigate early in the morning to reduce evaporation. So even small changes, like I mentioned, can make a big difference. So let's work together to make every drop count. So you guys can all go to our boardofwatersupply.com and look up conservation. And there's a lot of information on there on different conservation, rebates, things like that.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions for Board of Water Supply? Anybody online? Nobody, but thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it. Aloha. Kaiser Complex School. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm Kapi Gu. I'm the principal here at Hahaioni Elementary School, but I'm representing today the entire complex of schools for the Kaiser Complex. Here's my report. Our Kaiser Complex would like to give a big mahalo to the Hawai'i Neighborhood Board and just share our gratitude for your support over the years. Some facts about Kaiser Complex. We are an international baccalaureate school, as many of you know, and we're all about building a community of learners. So we feel so special that we are also a public school system. Students grow up with their peers and their neighbors, and they just have this bond that they build. They learn and grow together. Compared to non-public schools, they can't match this sense of belonging to the specific place in Aina that we reside in. We also prepare students for life, and it includes, caring for their fellow community members whom they get to know personally. And not just do the students benefit, but they also plan great events. A lot of the Kaiser students coordinate events that bring the community together. So we consider ourselves the hub of our community, each one of our schools. One of our goals on the side is to graduate every single student knowing another world language. And so to do that, it's called the Seal of Biliteracy. So it's a special indication on their diploma, a special certification. So we expose them to world languages from kindergarten all the way up. I'll come back to that in a moment. But some upcoming events, Kaiser High School, it's homecoming week. So we have a homecoming parade tomorrow, and that's starting at 5:30. And it's going to go from Kokoi District Park, come straight down the hill, and then turn right on Luna Little Home Road and back up to Kaiser on the driveway. We have some other festivities tomorrow night. Also, our Kaiser homecoming football game will be this Friday, October 3rd. And next semester, we'll have some Aloha in Action service and Earth Day. That'll be coming up. I'll announce that later. I did want to point out that New Valley Middle School has a bunch of enrichment activities, after school enrichment that kids can sign up for, pretty much free. So some of the fall clubs are Anime Club, Hawaiian Club, Gardening Club, Interact, a service club, and Math Counts. This is a competitive math team. And we also have our ongoing band performances and that's pretty much year round. They also offer Mandarin and Japanese world languages there. Moving over to Ainahana, they offer a Japanese language program as well, and they have a highly qualified full-time person doing that for them. At Hawai'i, we offer a Japanese language program, but we also offer a Japanese dual language program. So we have cohort of students who get the same curriculum, but half the day is taught in Japanese. So by the end of fifth grade, we hope that they are all fluent in both English and, of course, and in Japanese. Kamilowiki also offers Japanese language as well as Kokohead Elementary. So you can see our effort to create this system of the seal of biliteracy. That's my report tonight. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or online? No questions at this time. We really appreciate the report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just want to add in that learning another language gives students a deeper compassion for another perspective. And I really think our world needs that right now. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Galen, hello. Come on down. We have Hawaii Department of Transportation, Galen Wong. Thank you for joining us. I know you've got some follow-up answers to some questions. Thank you.
Excuse me. I just want to invite you. I sent an email earlier to Roberta, Mayor, and the Vice Chair regarding if anyone is interested in going to the Highway Safety Summit next week, Wednesday and Thursday at the airport. So I'm not sure if you guys got that email or not, but if anyone's still interested in attending next week's Highway Safety Summit at the airport, it's from 7:30 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon on both days, and you can sign up for those 2 days and get parking and lunch if you want. So just a reminder, if anyone is still interested, they still can sign up for that Highway Safety Summit at the airport.
Thank you.
Some of the questions and follow-up I had to follow up on last time was the highway agreement with the city and county home for Coney and Hanama Bay. For the Hanama Bay, guards and cones are up at 6 a.m. Gates open at 6:45 a.m. Signs are posted for cars to not stop if cones are up, and the guards will wave the cars to continue moving on. So they shouldn't be blocking that entrance. And this is with the city and county transportation services. That's our agreement with the county. So the question about how much the Kalani Highway at Coco Marina traffic study and how much did we pay for the study? We paid $120,240.
Galen, can you speak a little closer to the mic?
Yeah, we
Thank you.
paid $120,240. The bulk of the cost was due to the data collection and analysis of the 2 intersections and all the shopping center access point. That's how much it cost us to provide that study. There's another option that asked why we didn't close the left turn in and out of the Coco Marina wasn't considered, and moving left turns before and after the before the current entrance location. Over 20 years ago, the DOT staff met with the shopping center representative at the time, and they told DOT moving that left turn in and out before or after was not an option. So we don't have the representative who told us that. So you guys might need to contact the Coco Marina representative, see if they will be amenable to closing that left turn in and out of that shopping center. So I don't know if that is an option unless the shopping center will agree to close out that left turn in and out of the shopping center. Another resident that asked the question, why a yield sign after the crosswalk at the Little Home Road intersection, making a right turn eastbound at the Kalani Highway intersection at the shopping center? she believes that there shouldn't be a yield there since the crosswalk is before the yield sign. Let me know about this one. The yield is for the vehicles, not the pedestrian. This is a stop bar for the crosswalk. The yield sign is in the place to alert drivers to vehicles passing through the intersection and attempting to enter the marina, Coco Marina. That's the response. And what was the impetus for conducting the study at the request of the community leader due to the district concerns based on the high frequency of incidents? This issue was first brought up at the April 30th, 2024 board meeting with Brian Kimura, our highway safety, highway traffic section manager. And then with a follow-up on May 28th, 2024 meeting, and it was then decided that a full traffic study would be conducted by the traffic section for the board to review the various traffic improvements. So that's where that the traffic study was brought up for that representative, the new representative that had questions. And secondly, in the report, distributed estimated costs for the 6 plans were included through only the bottom line figures were provided. Would it be possible to request a further breakdown of what each of these costs of implementation would be consisted of? The full report can be forwarded for your perusal if you would like. Otherwise, we may need to contact the consultant to see if what other further information can be provided for each of the traffic improvements. And third, by the board member and public response, they seem, just from the representative's office, it seemed that fairly evident that these proposals are not sitting well with the community at first glance. For this reason, we would like to ask what the next steps are. Is a project slated to occur in this area, and it is a matter of deciding which plan to go with, and or is there any room for community input on whether action should be taken at all? And if so, we would like to extend the offer to conduct a community survey on these proposals to see if skepticism conveyed at the meeting. Actually, we hope you would agree by most flat out disapproval is shared by the district at large. These traffic improvements will not be programmed by the department due to its current negative ratios for its project cost ratios to implement any of the improvements. In addition, the department does not have any funding for these improvements. If the board and residents would like to implement any of these improvements, the district legislators will need to obtain the appropriations to implement these improvements and direct the department to implement the projects with majority approval of the board and residents agreeing to the traffic improvement at Coco Marina.
Understood. Before I go ahead and see about anyone having questions, may I ask what you have there? Are you able to share that with Chair Mayor since she's not here today?
I emailed the.
You emailed us.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so very much. Board members or members of the audience who are online, does anyone have a question for Galen? We'll start right here with Sam.
Thank you for your report and returning back to the meeting. I think as it relates to the Coco Marina turning left primarily into the shopping center, the issue was not necessarily that we wanted to move forward with any of the proposals that were given. It's that none of the proposals that were given were satisfactory and extremely cost intensive. We just need the same thing that they did on Cal Highway when you're getting off the freeway. Instead of where Kahala, I think it's Kilauea, comes onto the road, they put those, what are they called,
Right.
banisters or something? That's all we need. We don't need $1 million, $2 million worth of infrastructure improvements and relaning and everything. Just put up those metal little poles preventing people from making a left turn. They won't make a left turn out of the shopping center, but this is primarily for people making a left into the shopping center and blocking the arteries of traffic. That's it. I don't.
So,
And that was not one of the
that's
proposals that
why
was
you
getting.
should also get the Coco Marina Shopping Center involved in this discussion as far as will they allow or do they want us to prevent those left turns in or out of their shopping center. That's the agreement they made 20 years ago that they told us that they didn't want us prevent those left turns anymore or coming in or out of that shopping center.
Well,
So
but that's
the
that's
question.
contrary to all the proposals that we spent $120,000 on for this survey. All of those proposals included some form of limiting left turns into the shopping center, out of the shopping center. But none of them were they were all extremely expensive and not feasible. And so and also it's a state highway, so I'm not too sure why the shopping center needs to decide on what occurs in the center median of a state highway. But that was sort of the frustration that we had as the board.
Right. Well, I understand because when you guys first brought up the whole situation about the left turn and that area coming in now, shopping center plus the side street over there that people are making all those illegal turns and stuff like that. So I guess when Brian was still here, he decided, okay, we could try to see what the proposals that you guys was trying to ask for or trying to get us to see if we could look at and present to you guys. And that's the reason why that traffic study report came about. I mean, that's 120 something thousand of our funds to try to see if we could do anything about it. But as you can see, it didn't come out good. So now we gotta keep on figuring out what you guys want to do and what the shopping center, we have to, I guess, get them involved into the conversation. And
Okay.
see what would be
Understood.
the best way to make everyone happy about that situation.
And understood. So long as I've been on this board, this is, I think, the third time it's
Yeah.
come up. And so you're right. We should reach out to the shopping center, and we can certainly look to do that and talk to our elected officials as well and continue to keep you active in that. Lisa, did you have a question or a comment?
I do. Thank you for coming this evening. I didn't, because of the location, and I didn't quite hear your answer about Hanauma Bay. Would you mind repeating what you said?
Yeah, so it's managed by the city and county transportation services, but because it's on our highway, that we gave them we okay that they could start at 6 o'clock to cone the area so that they can make the cars that want to go in for the parking of that day, they could, we gave them the okay that they could do that on our highways. And they have it where they could do it from 6 o'clock, cone it. And then from 6:45, they're supposed to let the cars go into the parking, into the Hamanamba. Right, yeah. So we have an agreement with the transportation service, and they're the one that does the coning and manage the entrance of that Hanauma Bay.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions for Galen? Chair Mayor, did you want to share a comment?
Yes, I just wanted to say that the responses that Galen just gave you, I did send to all of the board members in writing. So you should have had it in your email so that you could review some of the report that he's given.
Thank you very much. Okay, Galen, oh, yes, Sam has one more comment or question.
We did have a nice presentation last month regarding pesticide use in Hawaii. I noticed that there's a lot of recently killed haole koa in the center median along Kalanianaole Highway. Looks like they were sprayed with something. It's a terrible plant. Just curious what was being used to kill that plant.
I would have to check with our maintenance, but we're not supposed to be using certain pesticide stuff on our roads and on the vegetation. So I could check and see what we did.
Okay, thank you.
And this is where what on the medium by
Kind of by Pico, but it's pretty much been. I feel like the whole.
It's on the medium or on
the whole center median along Kalanianaole. A lot of looks like they've been there for a long time. Haole koa that just gets cut back, but then somebody came and sprayed it with something.
Okay.
So just curious what the The spray is.
Yeah, what they did and what they use.
And then there was pretty mature naupaka bushes that were in between Keahole and pretty much Kuli'o in the center median. There's native ko trees, and then you had a native naupaka bush, but that whole bush had died out a while ago, and it was just left there for a long time. And then finally, I believe the state came and cleared it, but now it's just overgrowing with weeds. So I was wondering if we could get, you know, a native plant like naupaka or Elima or something in that center median to re-beautify the area, because I think we do have a big ugly problem with a lot of our.
Highway screws and see if we did that and if that's our property or if that's the city.
Oh, it is in the center median of the highway, Kalaniana Ole. So,
Yeah, I'll double check on that and get back.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Galen.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Maybe we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Members, we're going to, oh, yes, please, if you have a question, please come up to the podium. Oh, come up to the podium and share, please.
I'm very interested in Makapu. That section at Makapu where there's a place to park along that area. I don't know, a few months ago, one of my previous neighbors said it was discussed that there was going to be some work done around Makapu, and they were going to add a lot of greenery around that area. I don't have any specifics. I don't
Sure.
have any facts. I'm just saying, is anyone doing anything about Makapu and parking?
Oh, I can share with you, Makapu'u parking is what it is.
Mhm.
There isn't any additional parking that's planned. It's an
Okay.
ebb and flow situation. The goal for Kaiwi is to keep it in its wild and natural state.
Mhm.
So putting more parking isn't going to help the demand for places like that.
Yeah, that's the question I have.
Sure.
When I hear you say that they want to beautify it rather than make parking area.
Yeah, so parking area has been established back from prior agreements and it's maintained. The beautification that's happening now is with various different nonprofits that work with the DLNR or the city parks and rec.
Right.
And they're there on their scheduled days doing really beautiful sand dune restoration, planting native vegetation, and also educating the public about Kaiwi. And
Okay, here's where I have a real concern, and I want to know who I can talk to about the beautification of that area. From a personal note, the area that is that section where cars can park, and there's a lot of traffic going around that area. 2015, my son was putting his board back in his SUV, and a truck came off the road. He now has lost a leg. And I'm very interested in whether we beautify or whether we take care of the citizens and the people.
sure, I'm not exactly what area it is that you're referring to, whether it's
Okay,
the
if you come
lookout.
off the road
But
and
I'm
coming down.
More than
there's-
happy to talk with you after, so I can get that and we
Yeah,
can
if I
capture it
could
and
get
share it.
specifics about who
Mhm.
is beautifying and who, if there's any way that I
It's a
can
shared
talk to in-
jurisdiction between state, county,
Yeah,
also
that's what I
highway.
need to find
But
out.
I'd be more than happy to work with you and have a better
Okay.
understanding.
Okay,
And look,
yeah.
and then from
I'm
there,
just
we can take
concerned
it.
about beautifying
And safety,
and having
of course,
people have a place to park.
of course.
Yeah.
Understood.
And because of the trauma at that time, I wish I could have done something at that particular time,
Mhm.
but it's taken several years for him to get through what he had to go through, plus our family. And so I'm very interested in if they're going to beautify, I'd like to talk to someone about that because I think the parking
It's not
is a better
beautification,
issue.
it's restoration work, but I'm more than happy to chat
Yeah.
with you.
Okay.
My name's Elizabeth and we'll find
Here
each
you
other
talk
and we'll
about
connect up.
Safety and
course, very
roads
important.
and all that. And I've been
Happy to
asking
have
this
you here today.
question for
Of course.
quite a while, and I just, who
Thank
do I
you.
talk to? You know?
You're at the right place.
Good.
We're going to have lots more talking.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Anybody else Did you have, yeah, please come on up if you have a, oh, not just yet. I think we're done, and thank you so much, Galen, for again being here. We'll see you next month. Now we're on community announcements. So if anybody has anything that they'd like to share with the community, come on up. And if you're online, raise your hand. And board members also, if you have any announcements, please go ahead.
All right, good afternoon, or evening rather. My name is Oscar Ramirez. I am one of the members of HARD, that's Hawai'i Advocates for Responsible Development. On behalf of your usual guest, Mr. Tom Cooper, who is extremely tied up these days. So just to provide the community an update, how's it going over there? And obviously whoever's online, I apologize for coming in late. The government shut down this evening that it affected my timing. So we want to give an update. We continue to proceed. It's been a quiet month. Actually, August and September were kind of relatively quiet, but it doesn't mean that we were quiet ourselves. We continue to pursue community involvement. The petitioning continues to grow, both online and our ground footwork, reaching out to the community. Special recognition to the Oahu Club for basically helping us out to generate, and also the plaza where 7-Eleven is right there. Special thanks to Representative Gideon and Chairman Waters for their contributions and help and guidance and assistance. It has been incredibly beneficial to getting the word out. This is from Tom Cooper. We honor and thank the many locations where high number of signatures have been collected, and we always welcome more volunteers to help us gather those signatures. And I'll wrap it up real quick. I know timing is short. One of the concerns that we have is that people are like, well, there's nothing going on, and things aren't happening for another year and a half. But this issue doesn't go away. Our voices as community members don't need to be silent during the quiet times, and we should continue to advocate for what is responsible for our valley, for our communities, and for the future of our community. So we continue to ask people to get involved, reach out. You can go to hawaiiadvocates.com if you haven't signed up yet. If you have questions or you have ideas how we can better outreach the community, or if you have an organization that's interested in volunteering and helping out. The work is not hard, not yet at least, I would say, but we continue to advocate for the community and also build sort of an alliance with other entities who might be going through similar issues. So thanks, everybody. Thanks to the board. Appreciate it.
Oscar, why don't you share with the audience how someone can get in touch? You have a website address?
Yes, so that will be the hawaiiadvocates.com. It's the website. When you log on, typically it'll tell you the background, how we got to this point. There's a petition you can sign, and it also has an email address where you can contact us there and let us know if you want to volunteer. If that includes walking around, getting signatures, or as we progress moving forward, there'll be other activities we'll be requiring assistance from the community. Our group is small. There's only about 7 or 8 of us. All of us have busy lives, but the community is important. Your voice is important, and we want to be able to recognize that as well. So,
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Any other announcements? We have a couple of folks online. Let's go with Marty, and then we'll go. Please, sir, come on up. Marty?
Hello.
Laprade?
Yes, my name is Marty Laprade, and I'm a board member of Livable Mauna Lua Hui. And I'd like to announce that we have some events for the community every month. On the second Saturday, we have open house at Kiavava Wetland and Hawaii Complex next door to the Oahu Club. And we have coming up, every Thursday, we have volunteer events. And there are other volunteers, some at our Ka'ivi site. And speaking of Ka'ivi, in November, we have the Ka'ivi hikes, and all this information can be found on our website, which is lhkh.org. So I'd just like to invite everybody to look at the website, lhkh.org, and you can RSVP and or sign up for one of our many fun events and get to know more about Hawaiian plants and animals and your community. And we welcome everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marty. Appreciate it. We're going to jump back here to the podium. Let's start with your name, and then we'll go over to Chris Kramer online.
Hello, board. Good evening. Everybody watching out in TV land. My name is Michael Garrison. I am the owner of Hawaii Running Lab, and just wanted to let the community know we'll be hosting our third Hawaii Kai Mile on Sunday, November 2nd. It goes from the skate park in Hawaii Kai down to Kaiser High School. And we're looking to have about 250 runners out there. So far with our first two, it's been about 30% kids. So we're looking forward to getting lots of kids out, and we are actively promoting through the community, and just wanted to say hi and let everybody know. And it's hawaiikaimile.com.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Awesome.
Good
Thanks,
to
guys.
see
Have a
you.
good night.
Aloha. Chris Kramer online.
Okay, aloha. Chris Kramer with the Mauna Lua Fish Pond Heritage Center. We also have community work days at the fish ponds that we welcome everybody to come and support. There's many different ways you can support, either at work days, third Saturdays, or with your donations. It's all appreciated. I did want to come tonight to speak to the community about an incident we had recently with something that's real important in our community, and that's the Hawai'i. It's a colony of tropic birds right in the area of Sandy Beach, Lanai Lookout area. And Eric Vanderwerf, who's a expert on birds, has been studying that colony for a long time, and he said this is the only place that they nest on Oahu. And if you haven't seen them before, they're like beautiful birds that do acrobatics when you drive by that area. They have long red tails, and they are so iconic. And then recently we had a real unfortunate incident where 21 of the birds were killed. Dr. Vanderwerf feels that they were cats that did it. And so I think this is a real opportunity for us as a community to envision what can be the future for those birds. They were used for the navigators to find land, and we could just wash our hands, or we can convene and bring folks together and come up with some solutions. So that was my request tonight, is that we could have the board add this as an agenda item, or convene community members to look at this issue.
Thank you, Chris. I'm going to ask if maybe you can connect us with the Dr. I'm sorry, his name again, please.
Vanderwerf.
Yes, if you could connect him with us, because perhaps we could start the conversation with having an appreciation for those beautiful birds and learning a little bit more about his study. That might be a good place to start. And of course, I'll share that with Chair Mayer. So if you could share with Chair Mayer and myself his contact info, and we could reach out about having him come. Thank you so much. I think it's very, very important. And thank you for the good work that you do at the fish pond and with CRB also.
I'd also add one last thought, and that was, if we look at Kaena Point, you can see the difference with fencing and measures to protect the birds, and the skies. The birds have come back, and we could have that in our community too, where the birds darken the skies again and feed the fishery and the forests. So that can happen if we come together.
Indeed it can. So this is the first step. So thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and recognize Chair Mayer, and then we're going to go ahead and have Sam.
Just a quick announcement that the Hawaii Kai Holiday Parade is scheduled for Saturday, November 29 at 10 o'clock a.m. And it's hosted by the Hawaii Kai Lions Club and the Coco Marina Center.
Thank you very much. And Sam, you have something to share?
Chris, are you still online? Just wanted to
Yes.
say, thank you for the work that you do at Mauna Loa Fish Pond Heritage Center, as well as, bringing this issue to the board. I was very devastated when I saw that news story, and I had spoken with Dr. Vanderwerth. It was actually the board meeting when the tsunami was coming that we had to cancel it. But I appreciate you bringing it back on our radar. It was the beginning of 2023. I had introduced a resolution at this board that was modeling the bill that was passed in Kauai County and then also recently passed on Hawaii Island that prevents the feeding of all feral animals on the county property. So that is to prevent these colonies from being created in certain areas of the island. We've had a lot of issues just all over Hawaii Kai with cat colonies being created and just exploding because of unregulated approaches to the feral cats. And so if a colony is being created at a spot where native birds are frequenting, they haven't evolved with these defenses, and they can easily get slaughtered by the presence of cats who are just having fun. It's not even a food issue for them. So
Thank you, Sam.
but the board at the time did not choose to vote on that resolution because of significant opposition to many in the community. But with this recent mass murder incident and the new board members, potentially we could revisit this and see if we have an appetite to propose something similar.
Thank you. And that's a perfect segue to what's next on the agenda, which is community public generated issues. So outside of just announcements, do we have any other public generated issues that we want to bring forth, like Sam was just discussing right now? Anybody online? Okay. Looks like we're good there. So we're going to move on to presentations. We have Climate Action Pathways Report released by the State of Hawaii Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission. And the presenter is Bill. Would you pronounce your name for me, your last name?
So I'm not Bill.
Oh, okay.
But his
Hello
la-
and welcome.
His last name is Unru.
Okay. Well, welcome, please. And you have a captive audience.
Thanks. So my name is Jonathan Lance. I'm with the State Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission, which is kind of a mouthful. State Climate Change Commission works. And yeah, basically we wanted to share with you folks today about our Climate Action Pathways report that we just kind of finished our draft, and we're asking for public input on it to kind of help us shape it. Yeah, so like the slide shows, we're in our public commentary period, which runs till September 30th, which I recognize is today. So we're actually, because we're just kind of getting to speak to you folks today, we had a meeting today. We're going to extend that period open for another week. So we've been trying to get out to neighborhood boards and spread the word about this over the past 2 months. And yeah, mahalo for having us tonight. And we'll definitely make sure to leave some space for people.
Let me, I know you're going to move on with your presentation, but let me just offer that if it was extended longer, it gave a chance for the board to discuss it and maybe support, but we're not able to just having a week. So what you have then is an opportunity for us individually to go look, read, and then comment. I just thought I'd share that with you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, I mean, it's kind of an iterative process too. So even once, the kind of feedback platform that we've created closes, there's still people can reach out to us through email. Always happy to talk story, people. So yeah, maybe next slide. So just some background on the Climate Change Commission. Looks like the text is a little funny. But for those that don't know, the State Climate Commission was created a few years back, kind of in response to recognizing that there are climate change impacts kind of increasing throughout the state, whether it's rising heat and flooding, sea level rise, coastal erosion, more intense storms, drought, wildfire risk, all these things. And the commission is kind of a coalition of representatives from a bunch of different public offices, Department of Transportation, Department of Agriculture, Hawaii State Energy Office. We have representatives from each of the 4 county planning offices. We have 4 legislators that are part of the coalition. And the State Climate Commission is sort of tries to bring together all these different departments and get people on the same page, working in the same direction to address these climate change impacts that we're seeing. So next slide, please. So what is the CAP, Climate Action Pathways? It's basically our roadmap for addressing climate change and all the issues that we're anticipating over the coming decades. And the meat of the CAP is 23 specific measures across 8 sectors. So covering energy, buildings efficiency, transportation, whether it's ground transportation, air transportation, marine transportation, agriculture, forestry, land use, waste, as well as circular and well-being economies, which includes things like reuse and repair cultures, as well as like workforce development and education around creating sustainable green job careers, that kind of thing. But yeah, the meat of the plan that we're really hoping to get people's input on is these 23 specific measures. And these are actions that are addressing greenhouse gas emissions and climate change impacts, but we really, our goal is to focus on affordability, safety, and health, because we kind of see that that is the important part of all these climate change impacts as it affects people in their daily lives. So that's really what we're asking for people to help shape this, and these recommended actions is really bringing it back to improving quality of life for people through affordability, safety, and health, which I had like a banner of those 3 words up there. But yeah, next slide, please. And this is a side note. So we are currently adding, due kind of like to feedback that we got and through a lot of the outreach that we did in creating this, we're adding additional chapters that address resilience. So the core of our climate action pathways was funded by an EPA grant, which really was focused on greenhouse gas emissions and reducing pollution. But we recognize that there's other important considerations in terms of building adaptation. And so the core part, initial requirements of the report were based on mitigation of greenhouse gases. These additional chapters are focusing more on adaptation and building resilience to extreme weather, sea level rise, health, military land use, and natural resource protection. And so the 23 actions that we're recommending, as well as the contents of these additional chapters that weren't required by the EPA, we're really aiming for these to be things that can be put into place through policy recommendations through the next legislative session, funding projects and programs for community organizations. We've identified different funding mechanisms we'd like to utilize to get these programs in place, as well as the implementing agencies that we'd like to carry these things out. So that's what people will find when they check out the CAP. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, so again, the big update right now is that we're in our open feedback period. The CAP itself, the Climate Action Pathways Report, is a big document. It's like 180 pages. And it's actually we have hard copies available in all the libraries. But we also have created an executive summary of it, which is like 20 pages. So that's definitely like a good place to start is the executive summary, which is 20 pages. or 23 or 24. All of it's available online as well. So I will share where folks can find that. We've been doing a lot of public outreach. So we've been having talk story sessions at libraries, trying to get out to all the neighborhood boards, attending different community events and finding different ways to get the word out there. And I think the easiest way for people to give us feedback is through this online platform we created. So the website is there on the slide. I also have flyers for folks that are here in person with the website as well as a QR code. But what people will find at that website is it's like a super kind of easy to digest, just gets down to the meat of the 23 recommendations. And then folks can click on them, they can read the details, they can kind of rate like whether they like it or don't like it. People can give specific suggestions or criticisms. You can see what other people have suggested, and we're seeing a lot of like people interacting with each other, like, oh yeah, I agree with what this person said. Here's why. And I think the main thing we really want to hear from people is what people like and don't like, what things are missing. You know, if there's things that people think are important that aren't included in these actions, as well as how people want to see these implemented in their communities. And so I've got a few more slides kind of like on sort of the content of the measures, as well as kind of what the online platform looks like. So we can move on to the next slide. Thanks. Yeah, so real quick, the development of the CAP. We want it to be comprehensive, so kind of addressing all sectors of the economy. Community-centric. We collected over 700 comments from community outreach that helped put this thing together over the past year and a half. Concrete, so really aim for specific concrete actions with identifying the agents that could implement them. Tried to achieve innovative solutions that incorporated traditional and cultural knowledge. And we tried to build upon existing county and other plans that are already in place and move forward in those directions. Next slide, please. This chart is showing a summary of the top 10 concerns that came out of those 700 or so comments that we collected through community feedback and kind of creating this report. So just kind of interesting to see what people's kind of top concerns are. And we try to use this to help develop, especially those resilience chapters part of it. Again, this is like not comprehensive and exhaustive. This is the top 10 concerns that came up for people. Flooding, sea level rise being major ones, droughts, invasive species was big. So yeah, we definitely, this was part of the process of creation, but now we're really hoping that people can give us even more specific feedback in shaping the final product. Next slide, please. That's louder. Next slide, please. Oh, okay, right on. Thanks. So this is kind of a summary of the types of recommendations that are contained in those 23 recommendations. So again, on the left, you can see the 8 different sectors that are included. So things like centered around electric vehicles, as well as more bike paths and public transportation options and financial incentives for using alternative transportation, things that address building codes and recycling and waste, composting, organic agriculture practices. Again, this is biochar production. A lot of there's a lot here, and I think that when folks go and visit the website, there's a lot more detail to sort of dig into this. But this is just to kind of give an overall idea of the types of actions that are being recommended. We'll take just a second for give folks a few seconds to look at that. We're gonna move on. Okay, next slide, please. So this is just a image of the landing page of the online platform. And again, this is where I'd really direct people to go. It's really quick and easy. You just you sign up. It's completely free, and you will just when you sign up, it'll just ask you your age range and your island and your neighborhood, so we can hopefully get kind of a sense of like community specific needs. And then you can see at the bottom there, there's an introduction tab, just kind of explain some of the background. There's an instructional video on how to interact with the website. And then it has links as well to the executive summary, to the full cap. And it also lists our email so folks can send us, people have been emailing us suggestions to our email that aren't contained in the 23 recommendations, which is great. So it kind of gives that space for new ideas that maybe people didn't see here, which we are really welcoming. And then, yeah, you'll see there's the 8 tabs. So people could just click on a tab. When they click on that tab, it'll contain the recommendation, the measures and the recommendations, the actions within that sector. When people click on it, a specific recommendation, it'll have the details. There's this kind of cool little slidey scale for people to rate if they like it or they don't like it. And then there's a button that just says give your opinion. I wish I had my computer and I could like walk people through it, but it's really straightforward. And people, I think we've received maybe 200 suggestions at this point, which has been great. So yeah, that kind of wraps it up. Open to any questions. Maybe I can drop, after I get off the mic, maybe I can drop my email, give it to you folks, and you guys could put it in the chat, and maybe we could write down the website too to drop in the chat. And then I'll leave these flyers on the table here. And yeah.
Please
any
do.
questions?
Okay, questions for Jonathan. Let's start with Lisa, and anyone in the audience, please come up, and also online.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming out this evening. I have a couple of questions. First of all, on your slide, I'll get it later, which it wasn't very clear to me because of my position on here. Was the Hawaii State Energy Office involved in this as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, they've been big partners for us, especially with doing a lot of the sort of tougher like calculation side and like modeling how these actions are going to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and what the benefits will be. So yeah, they've been co-creators for sure.
So how do you see this Climate Commission report? Is this going to be creating a mandate for the Hawaii State Energy Office is it a directive to the Hawaii State Energy Office? Or, I mean, what is this cap going to do? And is it going to be directive to the other departments within the state? Number one. Number two, the drop dead date for comments is today. So is there been an extension of that to when?
Yeah. To answer the drop dead date, we're going to extend it for another week. We regret not being able to come out to last month's Hawaii Kai neighborhood board meeting.
Right.
And we recognize that today is September 30th. So yeah, we are going to extend it for a week for sure. And I know that's not like a ton of time.
Right.
But like I was saying, if folks are able to give us feedback within the next week, that's great. And if not, we would love to hear like additional thoughts over email. And I'm always happy to like set up meetings and talk story with people. So it's going to be an iterative, ongoing process.
But what's the drop dead date going to do? So, another week, what's the next step for this? I mean, is this going to?
Yeah, we're going to
direct the Hawaii State Energy Office to do certain things based on this? I mean, what is this going to lead to?
Thank you for asking. So the drop dead date, after next week, we're going to start pulling all these comments and using them to make modifications and additions to our recommendations in the chapter. We have a deadline that we have to meet for the EPA to meet our grant stipulations, which is December 1st. So we're trying to pull everything together by then, and then yeah, which, you know, it's questionable how much they even care about climate change at this point. But meeting that deadline is one thing, and then having an iterative ongoing process with people to continue to shape this after December 1st is definitely part of the plan. And then to the other part of your question, so the Climate Change Commission we're an advisory council. We don't necessarily have like regulatory power per se. So what the plan is these recommendations are things that we plan on sourcing funding for and partnering with different agencies to implement these actions. We're working as well with a number of legislators to try to introduce certain policies for the upcoming legislative session. But a lot of it is, again, like sourcing funding to implement programs and projects that we would have a number of different partners with, whether it's things like Hawaii State Energy Office or different public offices, or whether it's community partners. We're really excited that the green fee bill just got passed in the last legislative session, and I think that that board, the board members for the green fee, is a really great group of people who we hope that we can partner with some of these actions. So there's a lot of different avenues. And again, part of the role of the Climate Commission is to sort of bring together the work of the different offices and the different community organizations to help connect the dots for people, coalesce, apply for funding together, things of that nature. And
Okay, and so
hope that
there's
answers
so
your
your
question.
tie into the EPA is there's tasking from the EPA that they're expecting a report from the state of Hawaii, which is also going to tie into federal funding.
The funding for the whole creation of this project was from a climate pollution reduction grant,
Right.
from the EPA, from the Biden era.
Right.
So that is the sort of stipulation. We have to get that done by December 1st. And yeah, the hope is for federal funding also to be tied into this, but that's a little bit shakier now, I think, than when this was first started. But we do have a chapter in the report where folks that focuses on the funding sources. So if folks have questions or want to learn more about like what types of funding sources are out there to be used to implement these actions, there is a lot of information in the CAP. It's not in the executive summary, it's actually in the full CAP.
No, that really helps put it in perspective
Yeah.
for me. I didn't know where it was coming from. Now I understand where. It
I
comes
appreciate you
and
asking.
What ties into from federal funding tasking to how it might be able to tie into state.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, I think that was probably good for everybody to hear. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Jonathan. Anybody online has a question? And we have Herb. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry, Tiffany.
Yeah, thank you. So is some of the thinking is in getting the feedback, will you, I guess, prioritize the 23 recommendations, or would it get narrowed down, or is it 23 that's just where you guys have landed
I
already?
think, yeah, that is part of it, is what we've been seeing so far is there's a number of them that are really standing out as a lot of public support for. And so I think, yes, we will, I think that's part of the process is like when there's a number of them that kind of stand out that way, that we will prioritize those. And also what I didn't describe was that even narrowing down to these 23 priority measures started from a longer list. There was a lot of different measures that were being considered. And then through getting the community feedback we had in the process of creating it, as well as working with getting a bunch of stakeholder feedback and a number of different technical working groups that kind of had university folks and researchers and industry professionals. Then we narrowed that original list down to 23 priority measures. But yes, for the ones that are kind of getting a lot of public support, which so far bike paths have been really important to people. especially on some of the outer islands and more rural or like in Puna. And urban canopies like tree cover and urban tree canopies seems like it's really important to people. So that's really helpful for us to know, like, okay, this is what communities really want to see in their spaces, and we should prioritize those for
Okay,
sure.
yeah, that's great. Just so
Yeah.
people know where they're, what the impact of their feedback is,
Absolutely. Yeah, we want people to see the benefits from the things that that we're advocating for
Okay,
in their
thank
own
you.
communities.
Thank you. We have, is it Johnny online? Did you have a question? for
Yes, thank you,
Jonathan?
Chair. How was this approach to the public for public input? How was it advertised?
Yeah.
Public input.
So we tried our best to get the word out there through different avenues, social media. We did some radio stuff. We had a piece on HPR. We've been working with all of our community organizational partners that we've kind of had interactions with over the years, asking them to help disseminate it to their networks, friends, and families. Again, we've been going to a lot of libraries throughout the state, and through the neighborhood board meetings, we've been trying our best to have a presence at different community events that have popped up over the past 2 months. So we've tried our best. It's not easy to reach everybody. And I know that sometimes there's that feeling of like, oh, wait, I never heard of this. And so, yeah, we have been trying our best to get the word out there through those different avenues. If you have any suggestions as well to maybe pockets that we might have missed that, we could try and get some last minute kind of engagement with people. I would love to hear any suggestions.
Like there's 36 neighborhood boards, and I don't recall this ever reaching my community. So, heat concern is only 5%. Heat also impacts farming. So I'm surprised it's very low with rising heat. That's affects the production of produce. So I'm just surprised of the percentage. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I agree too. I actually was surprised to not see wildfires emerge as like one of the top concerns for people. I know that's like front of mind for me. And again, it's not that nobody mentioned wildfires. It's just out of 700 comments, those are the ones that kind of were the top 10. But yeah, it is interesting to kind of see.
I have to say, Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization is doing a really bang up job. So that's probably one of the reasons why you're not seeing it, is because there are a lot of communities out there forming their own Firewise communities and their their disaster relief programs and stuff like that. So just an FYI. If I may ask, for the future, when you have good stuff you want to share, and based upon what Johnny had just said about not hearing about it through her board, if you can't make a presentation, just feel free to send your flyer or something to the commission office, and they'll blast it to the neighborhood boards, and the respective chairs will then share it. So it's just a great channel of distribution for you. I know a lot of people are interested in what it is that you're doing. So it was a great presentation.
It is a great channel, and thank you for that suggestion.
Sure,
Yeah.
of course. Any other comments or questions? Else we're gonna thank you wholeheartedly. Hope to see you again, and share whatever information you want for us to put in the chat.
That'd be great.
Thank you so much.
Mahalo.
Aloha. Okay, I think online we have our next presentation for the Yellowface Bee, Conservation and Management. We have the presenter Janice Matsunaga, and I'm really excited, and I'm hoping she's going to talk about the Yellowface Bee on the Kaiwi Coast, because if you guys don't know it, there's Yellowface Bee there, and that's really super cool. Janice, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, great. I just have a few slides, so I will share those. Alrighty, so hi, my name is Janice Matsunaga, and I'm an entomologist with the Department of Land and Natural Resources, Division of Forestry and Wildlife. And my colleague, Dr. Paul Krushanisky with University of Hawaii at Manoa is also on the line in case you have any other questions that I need his help to answer with. But I'm here today to just give an update on some of the work that the department has been doing along with our partners at Kaiwi. Mainly, you know, it was initially started, the restoration efforts and protection at Kaiwi was kind of started with a grant that we got in response to the listing of Hylaeus anthracynus, native yellow-faced bee, Nalo melimaoli. They're an endangered species and they were listed in 2016. And one of their main and important populations is at Kaiwi. And, we wanted to ensure that that population is protected and is able to thrive out there. So our partners were able to get funds from Fish and Wildlife Service. And so they started really ramping up restoration and protection efforts at Kaiwi. And so right here on this slide, I have a couple pictures of, on the left, it's just a zoomed out aerial of where we are working currently. And on the right is zoomed in. The polygon in green is showing where we're going to work next. So we were awarded a new grant to start in 2016. It's a 3-year grant from Fish and Wildlife Service, a competitive state wildlife grant, with our partners, Dr. Krushanisky at UH, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, DLNR, Division of State Parks, and 808 cleanups. So we got this grant to continue our work to outplant native plants and monitor our native bees. So we previously were working in the area more Makai, the greener area closer to the coast. And so over the past few years that we've been working there, a lot of the coastal native vegetation was able to sort of come back and is thriving because of some of the protections that we've installed over the years, including pohaku boulders to prevent off-roading over some of the sensitive sand dunes, and some symbolic fencing to prevent pedestrian trampling of sensitive areas. Sorry. Oh, there we go. So for everyone who's never really seen them up close, and it's very difficult, they're very tiny and they fly so fast, but they're out there. On the left is our Hylaeus anthracynus, endangered Nalo melimaoli, and that's like a close-up of them. They're very tiny, but we are trying to protect this population at Kaiwi, and they feed on pollen from our native coastal vegetation, like naupaka. So they also nest in the naupaka plants as well as some of the coral rubble on the ground. So we have volunteers with 808 cleanups who pull weeds by hand, and with our grant funds, we will be propagating native plants and having the volunteers assist us with outplanting them at the site. And we also will be replacing old and deteriorating symbolic fencing, which is this post and rope method that we use here. And so this method has been, very successful for us. It doesn't prevent access, but it does deter people from trampling any new outplantings or sensitive nesting areas at the site. And it also prevents people from trampling or disturbing sensitive cultural sites at Kaiwi as well. So we will mainly be using this method to protect some of the new outplantings and to prevent any sensitive areas from being trampled. It really has helped to sort of channel pedestrian traffic, and it's also helped to prevent some of the bonfire activity that's been going on in the Naupaka vegetation and whatnot. And so this is a picture of some of the interpretive signage that we use in the area. So we have a few, and in some areas where it may not be appropriate to put the post and rope fencing, we may just put a sign, or in areas where we think it's the most sensitive that we want to protect. And that's about all I have for today. It's basically just a continuation of the work that we've been doing over the years into the area where it's mostly weeds. We'd like to, continue our outplanting and monitoring the population of our native bees out there for the next several years. And I can take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Thank you so very much. And I'm going to see if any board members have questions. We're going to start with Sam. If anybody in the audience and then again online, please raise your hand.
Mahalo, Janice, for the presentation and for all the work that you do perpetuating a healthy INA. I have done some volunteer work with 808 cleanups in the past and doing some of the invasive species removal. And one of the challenges that we've had is the inability to use like gas-powered equipment like weed whackers or chainsaws, that sort of thing, because of the smoke interfering with the yellow-faced bees, which I certainly understand. Is there any way for DLNR to provide or support with funding 808 cleanups with higher powered electrical equipment to be able to do that kind of work without affecting the bees?
Sure, I wasn't aware of that, but like I said, we are working closely with them to continue this work, and we are seeking additional funding in hopes to provide 808 cleanups with additional funding. But we have a meeting with them in a couple of days, so I would definitely be talking to them about that, and we'll see what we can figure out.
Thank you, Janice. We have someone at the podium, and then we have Lisa. Yes.
Hi, Jen. I'm Paula Bender. I live in Hawai'i. And I wanted to know if the yellow-faced bee creates its own hives and yields honey that's harvested.
Good question. So our yellow-faced bees they don't form colonies. They just have their single nests. They do not form hives, and they do not produce honey.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes, thank you. Janice, thank you for your presentation this evening. I had an opportunity to view your presentation in person at one of the educational outreach events you had in Hawai'i, and absolutely fascinating. I wanted to ask you, has your preservation and conservation actions, has it led to an increase in the size or the number of the yellow-faced bees in the Ka'ivi area? Have you been able to count them and to know whether or not the numbers have increased? Or is that something too difficult to count because of their small size? Thank you.
Good question. Dr. Krishoniski, I hope that he can give more insight because he's been the expert actually monitoring the bees in person over the last few years. So
yeah, I can jump in here. Yeah, so we have been monitoring that site and a number of others around the island for probably 4 or 5 years now. And it's very difficult to quantify them directly, but what we do get is relative abundance count, so we can see how their numbers fluctuate seasonally and year to year. And what we've found is that the population sizes in a given year correlate strongly to how much flowering occurs in that year. So, it makes sense. Their population follows their food source. And so, it's hard to say at this point when a population fluctuates that much, whether there's a larger increasing trend or decreasing trend potentially. Because when you have that kind of fluctuation year to year, it takes quite a bit of time to determine what the longer term trend is. And right now, yeah, we're just sort of seeing how they respond to whether it was a wetter year and there was more flowers that year or a drier year, in which case the population does respond negatively.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Janice. If folks want to learn more about it, is there a website they can go to? And I would assume if they want to volunteer, they would connect up with 808 cleanups.
Yes, 808 cleanups, and I can put our website in the chat. It's at DLNR, but I will put that in the chat, the direct link.
And people can also contact state parks because we work with Kekai Moore at state parks quite a bit at this site, and he has volunteer groups that come out as well. So that's another opportunity for people to get involved.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, anybody else? Oh, Johnny, we have Johnny online that has a question. Johnny?
Thank you, Chair. Great presentation. You mentioned something about trespassing. Is there like trespassing violation signs to keep the public from riding vehicles in the area and so forth?
Yes, there's various signage as well from state park signage and whatnot. But it's largely, or at least for vehicles, a lot of it has been prevented with the installation of some boulders to prevent off-road driving. We put up some interpretive signage to let people know about how the area is sensitive, but we are aware that it's a state park and we're trying to keep the scenery as natural as possible. So we don't want to inundate the area with too much signage, but typically volunteers are out there or people are working and they talk to people and try to prevent it. But there are incidents of even people still will enter over the rope and cause damage or rip out plants or whatever, but no one can be there 24/7 to see that happen. Yeah.
Thank you. I think we have a follow-up question from Johnny.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Is there any consideration for school children excursion to educate them about the yellow-faced bee?
Yeah, I know Kekai Moore at state parks works with school groups and does hikes along there where they start over by Allen Davis and cross Coloco Inlet and then enter or exit over by Vavamalu Wall there. And so yeah, he does interpretive talks along the way.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was really educational and exciting to know that we have this on the Kaiwi Coast. Please come back and share whenever you like. We're going to be moving on, board members, to vacancies. We have vacancies on the board and we'd love to fill them. Is anybody here to fill any of the vacancies for sub-districts 1, 8, and 9? Yes, come on down. If you could confirm what district, and then we're going to validate that.
Sure. Lunalilo Park, Mackay, Sub-District 9. I live on Kahako Street. Over there.
Well, we're excited. I think we're going to fill a vacancy. How about that? So we're just going to do a quick validation to make sure that the District 9 is correct. And then if you'd be kind enough just to share a couple of words again about yourself. I know you've been here before. We're real excited about filling the vacancy. And then board members, there are 8 of us present. So we are able to take action on this. We would need from the board level someone to nominate in a second, and then we'll just do a roll call vote on this.
Okay, I wrote a little thing. I wish to serve, my name is Paula Bender, and I wish to serve on the neighborhood board to represent my neighbors in Sub-District 9, Lunalilo, Park Mackay. I've lived in this area since 2001 when my husband John and I bought our home from his parents, Byron and Lois Bender. They moved into Cocoa Head Terrace in the early 60s, and my father-in-law organized his Calhaco Street neighbors to purchase their land fees. I have lived in Hawaii since 1981 when I was stationed here at Hickam, and that was the year I learned to surf. I remained in Hawaii when I transitioned into civilian life and have been employed by Kaiser Permanente, the Honolulu Advertiser, various publications on staff or as a freelancer, journalism. My stories involved everything from arts to courtroom drama, science and research, personal profiles, real estate, land use, and zoning. I also worked as a substitute teacher for the DOE and mostly helped out at my kids' schools, Cocoa Head, Niu Valley, and Kaiser. My husband went to Cocoa Head, Niu Valley, and Kaiser. 2 of his sisters went to Cocoa Head, Niu Valley, and Kaiser, and his other 2 sisters went to Kalani. In 2020, I was hired at the John A. Burns School of Medicine to assist Jackson with its communications during the COVID pandemic. My children are now grown. Charlotte is pursuing ecology studies, and Sophie has a PhD in chemistry and works for AbbVie Research and Development in Chicago as a senior scientist. Like I said, both Kaiser High School graduates. Sophie combined studies at both Cornell and Princeton. As an avid cyclist and retired triathlete, I recently did the walk, bike, drive tour of neighborhood boards to speak about developing a culture of kindness and friendliness on Oahu's roads to help curb crashes between vehicles, cyclists, and pedestrians. I am now creating a report for the Hawaii Bicycling League and for the State Department of Transportation, and I'm hopeful that the insight I gain from these meetings will help create legislation to make our roads safer for everyone. I believe in keeping an open heart and an open mind, and it is productive to discussions about things important to our neighbors. It's by nature to ask questions and to find out what we need to know to reach resolutions and common ground. Mahalo.
Thank you, Paula. Board members, does anyone have a question? If not, may I ask for a nomination in a second so we can do a roll call? We just need one. Do we have anybody who can? Thank you very much, Sam. Appreciate it. And well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And now we're going to go ahead and do a roll call.
When I call your name, please say the last name Bender. Okay, Robbie.
Bender.
Okay. Oh, is Lisa Bishop? Oh,
Bender.
sorry. Tiffany.
Bender.
Okay. Roberta.
Bender.
Okay. Elizabeth.
Bender.
Okay. Herbert.
Bender.
And Samuel, of course.
Bender.
Oh, Elijah.
Bender.
Oh, okay. Okay. She is now a board member. I need to do the. Oh wait. Oh, sorry. And also, Joanna. Sorry.
Bender.
Okay. Yep. She and Paul Bender is now a board member. I need to do the voice vote.
Can we continue on with the meeting while you do that? Okay. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here is your, and you're going to belly on up and have a seat here with us for the rest of the meeting. So while they do a little bit of business, we're going to keep things moving, and we're going to move on to mayor's representative. Do we have anybody here from the mayor's office? Going once, twice, anybody online? Oh, hi, there you are. Thank
Hi,
you.
I'm
Welcome.
here. It's Amy.
Okay, we're all yours.
Thanks. Okay, I'll make this quick. One announcement just from the city. It's a reminder that the once per decade city charter review is underway. There is a Honolulu Charter Commission, and they're conducting their once in a decade review of the city charter. And this basically serves as Honolulu's constitution. So community members are invited to submit proposals. The deadline is November 7th, 2025. So you have a little over a month. The commission will also be holding community meetings in October. Dates, times, and locations are available on the Charter Commission website. Please go to their website, www.honolulucitycouncil.org/Charter Commission. And I can drop that into the chat also. Beyond that, there was a question from board member Alton, and it was about 404 Portlock Road and a potential sidewalk encroachment. So a DPP inspector was sent out on August 1st, and it was revealed to be an unauthorized walkway and sprinkler system in the unimproved sidewalk area. So a notice of violation was issued to the owner for the walkway and sprinkler system. So thank you for bringing that to the city's attention. Board member Alton also had another question, wondering about what to do if there is a potential commercial use on residential property in your neighborhood. And so if you would like to report a zoning violation to the city, there's a link on the DPP website. And then you would file your inquiry starting with complaint type illegal use zoning, and it's a drop-down menu. So it's pretty easy to figure out once you can navigate the website to the zoning section. Beyond that, Chair Mayer had shared some concerns about what was happening with proposed renovations to units at Hale Manu, which is an affordable housing building in Hawaii. DPP did confirm that there is a permit in process for the conversion of 3-bedroom units to 1- and 2-bedroom units. The conversion would create 14 additional affordable units to increase the total number of affordable units from 55 to 69, and a building permit is required for this conversion. So no building permit has been issued as of yet. And also, my boss, the managing director, Mike Formby, he is reaching out to the developer to suggest that they brief the neighborhood board on their permit application, which would convert some of their 3-bedroom units to 1- and 2-bedroom units. They do not have to follow his request, but of course he is asking on the board's behalf, and I wanted to update you all on that. And finally, just a reminder that the Hanauma Bay Education and Interpretive Program solicitation was out and closed on Friday. That was September 26th. And it was for upgrading, managing, and implementing the Papahana Hanauma Educational and Interpretive Program for the Hanauma Bay Nature Preserve. So I'm not sure of the deadline for decisions on those, whatever proposals may have come in, but this was a subject of earlier conversation, and that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Welcoming any questions.
Thank you. Before I ask if there's any questions, I wanted to give some more information about the affordable housing conversion from 3-bedroom to increase the units of studio and 1-bedroom. The board did receive several inquiries about that because there are families that are displaced now. Families that live in the area, children that go to school that count on 3-bedroom units and now have to find alternate places to live and be uprooted from the schools that they go to. So it's just really disappointing to hear that a greater weight is given to increasing a number of affordable units when now you're displacing a family with 3 children. And my understanding from what I had learned is that there's at least 3 or 4 families now that have to move away. And rental units are very, very hard to find at affordable, or shall I say, attainable prices. So I thought that was important to share. And at the city level, Amy, I wanted just to kind of share that on behalf of these families that don't have a voice, that are now so busy with having to find a place to live. And my heart goes out to the kids that now have to go to a different school or move out of the district. So I hope in the future, when we have affordable housing, we kind of look at things like that and don't change things midstream. But enough said. Anybody have questions or that they'd like to ask Amy? And anybody online? Okay. Amy, no questions today. Thank you. Oh, wait, I think Chair Mayor does. Yes, please, Chair Mayor.
Thank you. I just wanted to say it's important that we have 3-bedroom units to rent in Hawaii Kai. And I would like to voice my opposition to the conversion. And I would be happy to say that to the developers if they are able to come to one of our meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Mayor.
I'm sure the board could also request that the developer come and explain this permit. Again, I don't know that the application for the permit has any different weight to expanding the number of affordable units versus keeping larger bedrooms. I don't know that that's a consideration in the permitting process necessarily. But again, the managing director did reach out. And so it couldn't hurt that if the board wanted to request that presentation also.
I think when those units were being built, and we all understood that it was for 20 years, that it would be affordable, attainable rental, and the size of families, the board and the larger community welcome that, because the entire Hawaii Kai was built without affordable housing. And so it's interesting to see that midstream, before the 20 years is up, I think we're going into 10 years, to see changes to that product type that was promised to the community. But thank you. I guess it's a conversation for another time with others. Thank you very much, Amy. Appreciate it. And let's move on to, yes.
Chair, if I could just ask the board whether they'd be willing for this to come back to the board agenda, or for us to send a letter to the developer inviting them and also stating our concerns about the conversion.
Board members, Chair, would we like to welcome this opportunity? Would you like, Chair Mayor, to go ahead and send a letter of inquiry to see if we could welcome them? I'm getting thumbs up, I'm getting nodding heads. Chair Mayor, thank you so much for taking that on. We appreciate it very much.
Okay,
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, excuse me. Yes, Lisa.
And we'd also like to thank Managing Director Formby for personally taking it upon himself to speak with the developer on our behalf. Thank you.
Amy, did you hear what Lisa Bishop said about thanking Mike Formby for speaking on our behalf and the community and encouraging the developer to come out? Would you extend
Got
that?
it.
Thanks. Okay, appreciate
Thank
it very
you.
much. Tommy Waters' office, do we have somebody online from his office? We'll come back in case they show up. Let's move on over to Governor Josh Green's. Cameron, thank you so much. Always good to see you.
Good evening, board members, chair, acting chair, members of the community. Cameron Black on behalf of the Governor Green's office. Circling back to some of the things that were brought up tonight. First, I heard things about DOT, the turnoff, the tragedy that happened with the Koa Eula which could be, something that DOFA looks into. These will be things that will be covered in our report, but please let us know if there's anything we can do to help coordinate any of the state agencies that were called out. But I didn't hear anything specifically for me yet tonight, but always listening and happy to get more input. As always, thanks for all the hard work you guys are doing on behalf of the community. Going to new items or outstanding items, the big one, the Cocoa Head Port Lock siren. We were pleased to get good news from IEMA on September 12th that siren is now fully operational. So you should hear it go off tomorrow in our monthly testing. I really hope it does. But of course, let me know if it doesn't. Big thanks to Rep. Gideon for reaching out also to IEMA to encourage them to take a special look and make sure that a coastal, siren community that was looked at closely by IEMA. So thank you with that. Lastly, I don't have a lot tonight. Highlight from Governor Green's newsletter. For those of you looking for jobs, there's 14 job postings now in the newsletter in various departments. This is the September 2025 newsletter, so 14 job opportunities in the state government. It doesn't list the various departments in the newsletter, but it does provide a link to the Department of Human Resources, DHERD. That's pretty much, also new, what you brought up tonight, Board Member Bishop, about HSCOs and our involvement in the CAP and how it affects what we do. Like Jonathan said, we were involved in helping them develop that. I wasn't personally, so I can't speak for what was done. However, looking at some of the priorities, including affordability, safety, and health, and when it comes to energy, reliability and reliance are also up there for our office. We do concur with a lot of what Jonathan shared tonight, as well as a lot of the recommended actions looking to support more renewable energy, looking at how we can improve our permitting process without shortcuts and losing any protections, efficiency in power plants, which can also be addressed, like you mentioned, in bridge fuels at that last square that was presented tonight. So I did want to express a lot of concurrence on what Jonathan shared tonight with the energy sector and the CAP. But that wraps up my report for tonight, pending any questions or comments.
Yes, Sam.
Thank you for the presentation and your continued presence at our meetings. Greatly appreciate it. As it relates to energy, nationally and even internationally, there seems to be a renewed interest in nuclear power, especially as it relates to powering these data centers for AI. There was a mention of bridge fuels with LNG. I know that was a NextEra proposal over a decade ago that got shot down a lot. But is the state looking into at all the use of nuclear energy to help meet the renewable goals or to shift away from fossil fuels?
Yes, the legislature created a nuclear working group in the last legislative session that we're a part of and helping to run. So that's really where that discussion is starting now, and it really is starting. I would say it's at that stage in it. But yeah, it is something that the legislature has asked us and other stakeholders to evaluate closer. We do have certain restrictions in place now at the state level regarding nuclear and other energy types, but yes, it is being explored through this new working group.
Thank you. Any other? Oh, Herb.
This is something that I haven't.
Sorry, Herb.
This is some. There's a property at Hawai'i Drive and Wailua Street. I understand it. It was a land swap with Hawaiian Homelands, and I think that's good, but I'm just wondering what they're gonna put there, as far as single-family homes, townhouses, a high-rise. I heard that he can choose whatever zoning he wants. So I just kind of want to jump ahead and see where it is now and if we can move on from there. Thank you.
Hawai'i and Wailua Street intersection.
Right across from the post office is that area that is
okay.
undeveloped.
I guess it also speaks to the governor's executive order to serve as an impetus for affordable housing. So that executive order has a lot of folks in the community, various communities, nervous because it sidesteps all the good stuff that you need to talk about, like good planning.
It's zone conservation land now, right?
Doesn't matter. The
Right, but
executive
that's
order
what it
allows
is now,
something to
right.
happen for affordable. Yes.
We'll see if we can get some more information on any conditions of that swap or what was talked about. That's
Thank you. Anything else? Anybody online for Cameron? And okay. Yes, Sam, please.
There's been a handful of wildfires throughout the state recently. I'm not sure on whose land entirely, but I was curious if there is a large burn on state land, is the state doing anything to try and repopulate these now burned areas with some native plants, like an aerial seed bombing to try and prevent, the California grasses or ironwood trees or things that are really highly flammable from coming back? Is there any sort of like seed bank that the state has to be able to kind of take that opportunity of newly cleared land to repopulate it with native plants?
I will have to take that question back to possibly DLNR, maybe my first guess, but we'll take that back to the governor's office and hopefully get some information for you on that one.
Thank you, Cameron. We're really appreciative that you're here every month. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate the work you guys do as somebody who lives in the area too, so thank you.
Thank you. Aloha. All right, we're going to move on to Stanley Chang. Do we have anybody from Senator Stanley Chang's office online? Going once, twice, moving on. Senator Chris Lee. Do we have anybody here from Senator Chris Lee's office? Calling once, twice, and we're moving on to Representative Joe Gideon. Come on down. Thank you so much for being here. Good to see you.
Aloha, esteemed board members, as well as everybody sticking around. Before I go into my report, we do have a little bit of unfinished business from last month. We prepared, my office has prepared certificates for the returning board members as well as the new incoming. And is it Paula? Paula Bender. Great to meet you. Welcome to the board. Okay. So we'd like to give a heartfelt mahalo to our returning board members, Roberta Mayor, Elizabeth Riley, Lisa Bishop, Greg Knutson, Sam Wolf, Paige Alton, Elijah Lee, and Herb Schreiner. Your continued service and leadership have helped shape this community into a strong, connected place we call home. To our new board members, Tiffany Donnelly, Robbie Allen, Annika, I think it's Gauthier, is that correct? Oh, then I will take that off the list. Johanna, welcome to the board as of last month, and most recently as of 5 minutes ago. Paula Bender. Mahalo for stepping forward to serve. I'm excited to see the new energy and ideas you all bring to the board. On behalf of my office and the Hawaii State House of Representatives, we prepared certificates of appreciation for each of you. I will be distributing these now, if that's okay, and if we could take a quick photo. Jordan said he'll take a quick shot for us. Do we have time for that? I'll go fast.
Yeah, did you want to just come here and everybody stand here, or
Nope, that's perfect. Right
Right over
there,
here?
off to the side.
board members? Let's all stand up real quick. Thank you, everybody, for accommodating us.
There we go. We'll have them for you. I know there are a few people that aren't here today. I will hold on to these for next month as well. We can get those out, and I'm going to come right back to you. We have our new newsletter finished. It's for actually September, October. It says September on here, but I'm going to pass these out. Thank you so much. We'll hand those out. And perfect. I still have a copy. Okay, at last month's meeting, I had mentioned that we were doing a survey to see what types of businesses and services people would like to see in Hawaii Kai. This stemmed from the town hall, the joint town hall that we had with Tommy Waters, Kamehameha Schools, myself, and the Hahaioni Advocates for Respectful Development. So you'll see on the front page, and I've got a stack here as well if anybody's interested. And we've also got it posted on my website, repgedeon.com, repgedeon.com. Please join the list. We'll have all our newsletters posted there. When we do surveys, you'll be on the list. We'll have it emailed to you, and we also post our events. So by far, the two leading things that people wanted to see in Hawaii Kai, number one, dine-in restaurants. Number two, grocery shopping options. Dine-in restaurants was 75.5%. Grocery shopping, 69.3%. And then a little bit of a distant third, but I think important as well, as entertainment and recreation, as we kind of don't have that anymore with the departure of the theaters. We had about 500 people respond. I'm looking to grow that list. But with this information, we shared it with Hawaii Kai Town Center, Coca Marina, and Hawaii Kai Shopping Center with the new developers from Hunt Development to give them an idea of what people want to see in the area. So moving on, if you open up, we posted about, for the power outages, there's the website you can go to. It's HECO's Oahu outage map. When there is an outage, you can go there, check and see what the extent of the outage is and estimated restoration times. There's a QR code on there as well. Below that, there is a reminder at the end of this year, the 30% federal tax credit will be expiring through HECO's Smart Renewable Energy Program. The state still has the tax credit, which is 35%, but the federal 30% is ending at the end of this year. Earlier this year, Representative Gene Ward had introduced HB 513 to offer a state tax credit for existing solar system upgrades, systems upgraded to include battery storage. Fortunately, didn't pass, but this coming legislative session, I will continue to advocate for this and similar incentives to reduce the financial burden. No new updates on the future of Hahaioni Valley, although I am keeping in contact with Kamehameha Schools. I reach out to them maybe every 2-3 weeks. I know a few of their team do live here in Hawaii Kai. But we do have listed on the newsletter, as well as a link on my website to the HahaioniAdvocates.com. You can go to their website. I have a link for it on my site as well. We're trying to help them to build that list. If you've driven by Mauna Bay recently, you've noticed there has been a lot of work going on. I've been popping down there at least once a week to talk with the foreman down there. Turns out he lives in Hawaii Kai. He's a Kaiser grad, 1982, and he's very excited to be working on the project. So you didn't hear from, no, I shouldn't say this. It's expected to be finished in April. He's aiming for sooner. So I should leave it at that. He said, don't give it an official time. If at the end of last month, October 29th, we wrapped up our caucus listening tour. All 8 of the Republican representatives put on a listening tour where we went to each district that week. Monday, we were in Mililani. Tuesday, we were in, where were we? Aiea. Wednesday, we were in Waianae. Thursday, Eva Beach. And then finally on Friday, we were here at Cocoa Head Elementary School. was a great opportunity. We had about 75 people show up to share the issues that are most important to them so that we can then use that information to shape our caucus package for the coming session. The top 3 issues that people had raised. Number 1 was crime, public safety, homelessness. It was kind of a combo of the 3. Number 2, cost of living. Number 3, government reform. We dug a little deeper into those questions. You can see on the graphs below. Number 1, which public safety concern worries you the most? By far, it was homelessness. We had over 50% of the people check that was their main thing. I had mentioned at the listening tour back in August, about 10 years ago, I understand there was a homeless tracking program going on. Unfortunately, I think it ended in 2016, I believe. The gentleman who was heading it up moved away. We're restarting it. We've already started getting emails, photos from constituents. I drive the district about once a week to check some of the main areas where these reports are coming from. Vavamalu, we've got a couple of regulars who go there. They throw their poles in the water with nothing on the end. As well as some sightings at Mauna Lua Bay, people parking their vehicles there, sleeping. We're going to be working with the city, with HPD. At the same time, I'm encouraging people to continue to use the 311 app to make these reports. But any help that we can give to them with tracking the locations as well as pictures, especially with vehicles, you've got license plate numbers that we can share. So we're looking to help supplement that. On the back page, I'm sure everybody remembers the beer summits that Representative Ward used to hold monthly. We are bringing that back. It's going to be a new name. It's called Let's Talk Story. And every month we're looking to bring in a subject matter expert for more of an informal setting. It's going to be really, come, let's talk story, ask questions, get a dialogue going. We have our first guest and date confirmed as of 2 days ago, October 23rd at 6 p.m. We'll be meeting at Savan, which is it's like an event location / co-working space directly below Roy's at Hawaii Kai Town Center. They've been gracious enough to host us for the evening. So again, that's October 23rd at Savan, 6 p.m. We will be posting these on the website, and we're looking to do these every month. But let's get together and let's talk story. And the first guest, I don't know if I mentioned, is going to be Hawaiian Electric. Yeah, so we'll have an opportunity to talk story and maybe get some answers and give some feedback. Finally,
Senator,
Representative. Sure.
Is that Jim Kelly?
That is Jim Kelly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And from what I understand, a number of their leadership team lives in Hawaii Kai, so maybe he'll bring friends. And finally, last Friday on Friday, September 19th, we were lucky enough to host about 65 students from Kamilawiki Elementary School, which is my old elementary school. At the Capitol, we did a tour. It went so well that we wanted to open it up to our constituents. So on Monday, October 6th, that's going to be next week, on the 6th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., we'll be hosting a Capitol tour. You can sign up on my website. Again, it's repgedeon.com, repgedeon.com. But looking forward to hosting and opening up the Capitol and giving a tour. That's the end of my report. Any questions?
Thank you so much. Board members, do we have questions? Anybody, questions? And anybody online? Yes, Sam has a question.
Thanks again for your continued presence, Representative. Regarding the Hawaiian Electric talk story that you have coming up, if I'm not able to make it, I recall at the last time that they presented to our board, they had mentioned that there was a proposal like 20 years ago to have an alternative power line come down Cal Highway. And there was a lot of opposition to it at the time, and so the project stopped. Now with all of the power outages that we're experiencing here. Is there a possibility to restart this potential project?
You know, we did meet with Pico in my office a few weeks back, and we did bring up that same scenario. They received a lot of pushback, and from what I understand, there were even lawsuits. So I know they're kind of hesitant to go that route again. But I think that's something good that we could bring up at the talk story session. Yeah. Oh, one last comment regarding the siren. When I was looking on the dashboard, it was showing that it wasn't operational. No, but I called to confirm. They said it is operational. They do a screenshot once a month, and it just hasn't been updated. So if you go to the dashboard and it's 101 does show not operational, it actually is. It just hasn't been updated. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your being here in person. We'll see you at the talk story. Okay, moving on. Anyone from Rep. Hasham's office and also any congressional representatives? Nobody online and nobody in the audience. So we're going to move on to board business. Anything for Kaiwi? I was going to mention the issue that Chris Kramer brought up, and speaking about the birds and the protection of, I might ask Chair Mayor to put that on this agenda and keep it there, which I think is important. Camilla Valley, we're fortunate to have Judy Neaty here. Thank you, Judy. It's always good to see you. If you have something you'd like to share with us.
At this point, 4 farmers have left the valley. 2 more are in the process, and by the end of the year, they'll be gone. And there are 6 farmers who are still in there. We're currently on a license, which is for only 1 year, and it expires at the end of June next year. And as far as Kamehameha schools, they have made no commitment to us. They haven't really contacted us. And some of the farmers who are still there and want to leave are not quite sure if they'll meet Kamehameha schools requirements so that they can exit their lease without any problems. So it's a very tenuous situation. But some of the farmers who are remaining, even though the situation is kind of fluid, they've invested a lot of money to develop their farms so they can grow fruits and vegetables. And they're just hoping and praying that Kamehameha schools will offer them a feasible lease and a long enough time so they can get some return on their investment.
Thank you, Judy. We really appreciate you always coming and being the voice for Camilla Nui. May I ask, we're going to have the benefit of poinsettias from Camilla?
Yeah,
Nui
we're
this year?
working really hard on it now.
Good. Well, 1 more year at least of
Yeah,
locally
that's-
grown
see, that's the
poinsettias
thing,
from
you
Camilla
know,
Nui
if-
Valley. It's
If
really
my
nice.
lease ends at June of next year, then I won't be growing it. And,
Right.
you know, like I told you guys last time, that's where I make up a lot of my revenue. So, you know, we're just hoping that they come to us with a reasonable plan and a reasonable lease.
Agreed. Keep the faith.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on, board members, Chair Mayor prepared a letter and sent it to us. It was for us to consider sending a letter to Honolulu City Council to revise the ordinance governing commercial vehicles on residential streets. It was shared. And the question is, are we ready to take action on that? And for members of the audience, if you'd like to have the letter, would we like to read the letter? Board members, do you think you're ready to take action on that? If not, I can hold until next month. Otherwise, I would ask for Sam to read the letter. Yeah, so we do that? Okay, Sam, would you kindly? I'd like the audience and everybody to hear the letter that Chair Mayor has prepared.
The draft letter, commercial vehicles parked on residential streets, addressed to Council Chair Waters and members of the City Council and the Honolulu City and County. Dear Chair Waters and City Council members, at several recent monthly meetings, the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board has discussed the community's concern of large commercial vehicles and trailers that are parked on residential streets and constrict the flow of traffic on these streets. One example is a large commercial vehicle attached to a truck that has been parked on Kawai'i Street for months. Cars and buses must often veer across the double yellow line to pass the vehicle. The Honolulu Police Department has called, but existing county ordinances are insufficient. If the owner periodically moves the vehicle a foot or two, HPD can cite the owner for a traffic violation, but the city and county's towing contract does not have the capability to tow large oversized vehicles. At its regularly scheduled meeting on August 26, 2025, the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board requested the chair send a letter to the city and county, or to the city council, urging that county ordinances 15-16.6, storage parking of commercial vehicles prohibited, and 15-13.8, abandoned vehicles on streets or highways, be reviewed and or revised to eliminate loopholes that allow large commercial vehicles to remain parked on residential streets for long periods. We further request that the city and county consider renegotiating its towing contract to include the ability to tow oversized vehicles when necessary. Thank you for the opportunity to share this concern with the City Council. We would be pleased to participate in the review/revision process should one be undertaken. Mahalo and aloha.
Thank you, Sam. So everybody's had a chance to read the letter, and I'm going to ask if board members are ready to take action on it. Yes, Lisa, or make a motion and we can have a discussion. Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to see if we could add and boat trailers or boats, something about, I know it says commercial. What does this say? Right at the very beginning, Sam.
Commercial vehicles parked on residential streets. So I don't know if the boats are considered commercial vehicles.
No.
No. Does it say commercial vehicles and trailers? Oh,
So list is, except as provided in subsection B, it is unlawful for the driver or owner of any bus, truck, trailer, van, house trailers, or other vehicle used for commercial purposes whose gross weight, well, and you get, yeah.
so that's what a commercial vehicle is, right? Right. So where do we
Including
fit in
residential boats and trailers? I mean, it's for residential recreational purposes, so it's not
Right.
commercial.
Right, so I would somehow or other like to add in boats and trailers. So you wouldn't have a boat without a trailer, right? Right,
Right.
so.
Right. that's-
Right, exactly. So boats and trailers, so because you can have a trailer without a boat parked taking up space too, right? So however language we need to do that to include that, that's what I'm recommending.
Okay. Any other comments on that? Yes, Herb.
I make a motion so we can get into discussion.
Do we have a second? Thank you, Joanna. And let's get into discussion.
As far as the trailers, Joanna read that there is a trailer section, but I believe it's like commercial vehicle type trailers. So if you're going to add in any other wording, boats and boat trailers.
Okay, looks like everybody seems to be amenable with that. Okay, do we want to go ahead and just call for the vote? Oh, excuse me, Chair Mayor. Yes, please.
No, I just wanted to add, I'd be happy to include that language, but let's not wordsmith the letter right now.
Correct.
I'll correct it and add it and send the letter.
Excellent. I'm so glad you're on hearing this. Thank you. Anybody else online? Elijah, do you have any comments? Where's he gone? Okay. Okay.
I don't have a strong opinion on this, but I do think there's a distinction between a boat people can use from their houses, perhaps, people who are, or even not from their houses, and commercial vehicles like large trucks that maybe are more easily categorized as inappropriate to be on residential streets. Not that we want like big boats to be parked in the street, but I think there is a kind of a distinction there that might be meaningful for people who just like don't have space for their boat in their driveway, though I don't know that it's necessarily from that to conclude that they should be able to have it on the road taking up space where that might become a traffic issue.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Do we have any other discussion? Yes, Paula.
I was thinking the same thing about residents, and we all live in really tight neighborhoods. And I feel like, a lot of times when people are parked on our street or their vehicles are parked on our street, we just kind of let it go because we don't want to have a muss up between neighbors. And so I would like it to be that it would not be an automatic ticket or tow, but a response to a complaint, especially in the residential areas, when it comes to personal property, not commercial property.
Understood. And I know Chair Mayor is listening. Do we have any more discussion or may we call for the vote? Okay. I'm going to ask if this is unanimous. Oh, Joanna, please.
I was speaking with Chair Mayor about adding some language, which I think is not appropriate for the purpose of this letter, but I just wanted to make a note that perhaps sometime in the next 2 years, we can possibly introduce a resolution to talk about specific language. I think right now, I think the point is not necessarily how we categorize the large obstructions on the street. It goes to size. And so that goes into the idea of maybe it's not appropriate for this letter, but I just wanted to make a note that maybe we might want to have a further discussion to possibly submit a resolution.
Thank you. Yes, Sam?
Well, that's exactly why I asked Lieutenant Nakamura, what are the specifics here? Because he said, just call. Well, what is the HPD going to assess when they go to this situation of the width of the vehicle from the side of the street or the necessity for some sort of blinker or any sort of sign to show that, hey, this is a potential hazard you're going to hit. So I did not get a clear answer from HPD that even they know what it is either. So.
Thank you. Elijah, you want to chime in?
I just wanted to note that I think the ordinance says that about the length has to be 20 feet. So I mean, I think what needs to be maybe revised or what maybe we'd like to see revised on that is to consider the width, because that's really what we're talking about in terms of it being an issue for cars having to go around it and past the center line. And so maybe that's more kind of like what Joanna was saying, that's more the focus in terms of not the category of item like all boats can't be parked in the street, but that any vehicle, including boats maybe, that are a certain width that causes cars to have to go past the center line are what need to be dealt with.
Thank you. Chair Mayor, I know you're listening and we're very appreciative of that. Do you have anything else you'd like to add or share before we call for the vote? Okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. Board members, is it safe to say that this is unanimous? Pardon me? With the amendments, of course, discussed. And I apologize, Elijah, I'm making an assumption there. Are you good? Are you voting in favor of moving forward?
I guess I'm not sure what exactly the language of the amendment is. If it's just about revisiting it, including boats, then I'm fine with that. I mean, we're not giving a specific policy recommendation on the language of whatever the revised statute would be, right?
No. It would just be adding language that includes boats and boat trailers. At this point, it's just asking the city council to visit this issue. And we'd like to be involved perhaps in providing input in the review process later.
Looks like Elijah. Oh, we got a thumbs up from Elijah. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that this is unanimous. Thank you, guys. Good discussion. Thank you very much. We're good to go. Not just yet. Hold on. We got a couple of more things here. Okay, board members, we last spoke about considering closing Kamilawiki Community Park restrooms overnight. I don't know if we're ready to discuss this some more or not, but I do know that there was an email that Chair Mayor had shared about additional parks. Do we want to hold on to this until the next board meeting? Herb, looks like you have something to say.
Yeah, I just want to tell you that I did do my homework on this one. It is a park in my district, and HPD did the stats, and there was nothing noise complaint at night. And I also told you guys that I go to and from Kalama Valley to take care of in-laws residents, and I go in the evenings, and I saw one car parked once in the last month since we've been talking about it. So it doesn't seem to be a problem. I go back a little quick on this one. As an old beat cop, getting calls from the neighbors on a Saturday morning about the noise, I was appalled. So I always said, meet me. Tell them I want to meet with them. And I never really got that, because the parks here in Hawaii Kai, I was here when they were mostly built, were built with the house before the houses, or were put in after. I mean, it just appalls me that there is no problem there, in my opinion. So I say personally, drop this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Board members, I'm going to go ahead and ask, let Chair Mayor know, though she's listening, that we're not taking any action on this at this time, and I'll defer to her to see if she'd like to keep it on the agenda or remove it. Thank you, Herb, for that. Appreciate it. Board committees, excuse me. Oh, sorry. Yes, Chair Mayor.
I just wanted to say we can take this off the agenda unless and if in the future there is a complaint and it's brought back to the board, we can certainly review it at that time.
Thank you very much. Looks everybody seems satisfied with that. Thank you. Okay, we're coming to the close here, so let's power through it. Do we have any board committees? Anybody wants to report? And for new board members, there are committees. If you're interested in chairing or getting involved, please have a look and talk with Chair Mayor. Let's see, there are no announcements, no other announcements, and no correspondence. And so we are coming, yes. Pardon
the
me?
minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes. We are coming down to approval of the minutes from August 26th. Has everybody had a chance to look at them? Can we have a motion?
We approve.
A second? Thank you, Paula. Is this unanimous? Yes? Elijah, thumbs up on that? Yes? Chair Mayor? Thank you. Okay, the board minutes, yes? Yes. The minutes of August the 26th, 2025 are unanimously approved. And so now jumping down to closing announcements, the next regular meeting of the Hawaii Kai Neighborhood Board is on Tuesday, October the 28th, 7 p.m. right here in Hahioni Elementary, and also on WebEx. And of course, don't forget to view Alelo Channel 49 on the second Monday and the following month at 9 p.m. and repeating on the month's third Friday at 7 a.m. because you just can't get enough of us. So stay tuned. Videos can also be seen on alelo.org, Alelo.net, and just search for Hawaii Kai Board. With that being said, the meeting has come to a close. Mahalo. Have a good